Hey guys, great to be back. Let's get straight into this video. I want to try and keep it a little shorter. Usually when I say that, it goes like 20, 30 minutes, but all good stuff within that span of time. So, to start, kind of for the introduction, I'll say through experience is probably the best examples I'm going to give you guys, and maybe hearing from others as well. But I mean, that's what it is for most people. We live through some experience or we go through something, and depending on how severe it is or whatever that may be, we end up learning from it most of the time. So that being said, for me, and you'll actually hear a lot of other people say this, the more you want to improve your life, whether if it's in your through health or your maybe your mental, maybe you have some mental health stuff you want to work on, or maybe your emotional health, or things like maybe your overall character, maybe your success in a business or something you want to do, whatever it is, in every aspect or corner of you wanting to improve yourself or your own life, there's always going to be haters just waiting for your downfall, praying for your downfall. They're either envious or there's some really dark people out there. Not only that, there's something more interesting I want to get into in the video, because there's many different kinds of haters and people who maybe not hate you, but they dislike you or they have some sort of bias or prejudice towards you. And we're going to kind of talk about how to deal with that, what kind of causes that, why it makes you feel a certain way. So that's kind of just the gist of that for now. So to start, we'll go with this. The more successful you become, the more successful you are trying to become, there's going to be more and more haters. I've seen it all the time. I've experienced it a lot. You'll get more at first, you'll get a lot more haters and people who are against you more than people who are for you or rooting for you. And down the line, as you gain popularity, sure, more haters come and go, but you're also gaining popularity, which is usually a positive thing. So you're having more positive people who like your stuff or like you as a person, stay with you or stick with you, like in a community. So for me, what was happening was I wanted to change my life, do self improvement, and I wanted to be the best person I could possibly be, right? On every spectrum of things. And in my early stages, when it was kind of like maybe mid-ish, late high school, I actually ended up getting a lot of haters and a lot of backstabbers and a lot of people who would, talk behind your back or do things behind your back or be on your side in your face, and then somewhere else they're the completely different, or they're trying to fit in each friend group, so they're two-faced all the time. But this is very regular. This is very easy to deal with, but I want to talk about more the in-depth stuff that's more difficult to deal with, whether if you're in maybe a college or you're in high school, but it's more people with authority, I guess, or even in your work or in your everyday life. So, but that was kind of the first introduction, was me, for me at least, was very early on haters and kind of people who wanted to get me in trouble, wanted to make stuff up about me, but that's very beginner level stuff. It's very easy to just get over and be like, whatever, these people are irrelevant to me. They have nothing going on for them, and they have so much time on their hands that they want to try and make my life more miserable. That is something that you can really just sit down and think, like, I don't need to waste my time and energy on those people. And it's funny, look at, maybe that was a couple years ago, then think of where are those people today. It's kind of the same thing. But you shouldn't wait to see how they are. I was able to tell myself maybe 2, 3 years ago, these people are going to end up this way, or they're going to end up being in some sort of thing that I assumed they would be. And that's exactly what happened for most of them. So going on to the next part, the second part, kind of the middle of this video, the main point, the topic was when you start to improve yourself as a character, sure, the other successes, but you as a person, maybe also it's going to be like your looks, your overall energy, how you are, how you act, kind of your vibe, or just how you speak, just your overall personality, character traits, right? As you get to that, or let's say you become just outstanding person where you are just light years ahead of maybe the group you're around, or maybe the workplace you're in, or in the our sort of generation of people anyway. The more you become that person, or if you are that person, the different kind of hate you deal with is people will instantly have a grudge or have a, I guess, certain feeling about you that might make you feel uncomfortable, and you can see it because you can get really good at reading people. And now you might be saying, well, that's could be a whole different thing to get on. I'll say it like this. Maybe if, let's say, it's in school, a workplace, or somewhere else, right? If you are outstanding, outshining, you are friendly, you have teamwork, or you want to work hard, or you want to do so many things that make you just this amazing character. You're like up there on the level of who you are as a person or as a human being. There's always going to be those people who feel threatened, they feel called out, they feel that maybe they think they're lazy, or people are looking at them as something less, right? And a lot of those people tend to be very either miserable, insecure, or they have a miserable life outside of whatever they're doing. And then they try and put that on you to make themselves feel better. So that being said, I've had this throughout, whether it was school, different jobs, or everyday life, right? And the reason why, or the reason, how about this? The reason you'll know that you're successful and you have truly made great progress within your character is when you have people like attacking you because of the person you are, that they are trying to get you in some sort of, I don't know, problem, mishap, maybe a fight or trouble or whatever it is, right? That's how you know you made it, is when your character alone makes other people, I know it doesn't sound like a good thing, but it makes people have a dislike for you. They don't like you because you make them look bad. You make them look lazy. You make them look like evil or hateful people, which they are. That's why they're hating on you in the first place. So the thing is now how to handle that. And with handling something like that, it can be very difficult. Again, a lot of these things are very situational, but I'm just trying to open up maybe some doors that you maybe haven't thought of yet, or something that I could really help you out. Maybe you're going through something similar, but I try and generalize as much as I can, but also be very specific and also get into deep detail. So anyway, to deal with something like that, you can be put, see, now it's really hard because you can be put in a situation where, you could get in big trouble, or maybe that person has a lot of authority and they could, get away with whatever they want. But generally, you have to think of it like this. You are not wrong, okay? You are not a bad person. It is somebody bad who's trying to make you feel bad, trying to make yourself get in your own head. And the thing is, when you feed into that and their energy, they win, right? But the best thing you can do, aside from ignore them and not feed into their energy, is maybe try and work your way around it. Try and learn from that, why they're speaking certain ways to you, or why they're trying to harm you, or whatever it is. And if you're really risky and you're really good at talking to people and stuff, I'll say if you're cunning, try and address it to them and see how that goes. Try and have a little conversation with them. Try and break the ice a little bit. Sometimes it goes really well. Sometimes those people are not thinking. They don't think before anything. It's an actual thing. Some people are just going. They have no before process, like literal NPCs. I'm not even kidding. So sometimes you can break that. You can talk to them, maybe break the ice a little bit, and they might snap out and be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, this is stupid. What am I wasting my time and energy for on all of this? But it might not even be personal. It might be someone who heard it from somebody else in the friend group or in a group who it's just heard one side of the story, and then they're just pointing fingers at you and they're bashing on you and stuff. Then you address yourself and you already have a very high value character. They're kind of like, wait, hold on. This guy's no threat to me. He means no harm. He's totally cool. He's totally chill. That can literally just happen just like that, and it's done and over with. Then you might say to the other person, hey, this guy's fine. What are you talking about? But there are those people who are kind of psycho, where It doesn't matter what you do, what you say, they hate you for some reason. Some people are unreal. No kidding. And at that point, if there's nothing you can really do, the other best thing you can do is just avoid them at all costs. And now, I guess we're kind of getting to the purpose. Like, what is the purpose of all of this in the video? So, it's kind of like you have people think, well, I don't want to stand out or stick out too much. And let's say if it's work, we can put on a fake character, I guess, and a fake kind of work mode. And I don't like doing that. I like being authentic. I like being honest. I like having integrity. But I understand in many situations there's times where you have to kind of hold your, I guess, your pride or swallow your pride because it could really lead up to you getting in trouble, maybe you losing a job, something with a relationship, or something maybe for next promotion, or whether if it's maybe something totally random, something else, maybe from a sports team or whatever it is, right? Um, and that's where it becomes very difficult. So, but then you ask yourself, like, okay, so I don't want to stand out. How do I do this and not really get in trouble for certain things? Or how do I remain my character, still be able to present myself in positive ways, but also be on a lower level of a person, which sucks, which really sucks. Why? Now I think about this. Why do you have to lower yourself as a person to be on the same level as these other people who are just hating on you, who are just negative about you, who are negative in life in general? Like, you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to kind of throw away your potential and who you are as a character just for others who treat you like garbage. Like, come on. It should not be that way. But you can't win against some people like that. And sometimes we have to do that. It sucks. That's why a lot of people hate their jobs and hate the people they work with, because maybe they can't be themselves. Maybe they can't do good work or the right thing. But also depends on the work environment. It's a very situational thing. But just think about that for a second. Imagine that. Imagine your character, you are as a person, you're great, but maybe a certain time or around a certain person or at a certain place or a job, you have to completely change who you are. You have to lie about it. You have to stoop down to their low level, which is at rock bottom, just to meet their expectations or whatever, just to keep things on a, on a clean slate, right? It's stupid. You shouldn't surround yourself with people like that. And I know you guys know that, but sometimes we have to be in places with people we don't like or care about, but there's also a line you have to absolutely draw. And when people cross a certain line, you do have to stick up for yourself. So now we kind of got those things out of the way and whatnot. That's kind of the purpose. So going back to the question, how do we become this character, but also be able to put on maybe a two-face, or to, I guess, have that outside, but on the inside, you're somebody completely different. So I would say when you're doing, let's say if it's school, when you're studying, or maybe you're doing a class, or it could be work, these apply for all these spectrums of things, these categories of things. Still be thinking and processing about the stuff you normally do or who you are as a person, but be just respectful, maybe a little more quiet or subtle, more on a shallow level. But deep down, you're actually like a very deep person and you're processing everything that's happening and you're thinking of other things to say, or you're thinking above the next person. You're a step ahead, or you have the last final move on the chessboard, the final piece on the chessboard, the final winning move, right? The checkmate, whatever. That's the best way to do it. And I do it too a lot. It's like, I love to be my authentic self. I love to be as authentic as possible. But sometimes when you're around with people, or people you're not used to, or if you're in an environment you're not entirely comfortable with or familiar with, you kind of act a little different and you talk a little different. Then you don't feel like you really presented who you were, I guess. And sometimes it's a fight or flight thing, which is understandable. But I mean, I'll give you guys a great example. It's this thing for me at my job right now. I work with a lot of very miserable, hateful people, and they are targeting me to get me fired. I have about like 30 days, they say, to clean my act or I'm going to get fired, which I'm dealing with. It's a whole nother thing. It's drama I'll tell you guys about way when it's long gone. But and I've had this happen before. It's people who are just not right in the head. They're evil or they're full of hatred or they have something very dark about them. You'll see it. You'll see it when they target you, they attack you, they don't like your character, their energy and yours does not mix. And bro, let me tell you something. I don't want to get out too off topic, but when you become this very, I'll say, leveled up character, whatever, you can call it whatever of yourself, this unique characteristics that you have, when you get really good at reading people and kind of like, let's say it's in person and stuff, when there's someone with a dark energy, I'm telling you right now, always avoid that at all costs. No matter what explanation, whatever they say, trust your gut and trust what you're feeling in that moment. Because you can see it in some people. You can see it in some people's eyes, man. And it's actually freaky. Stay away from those people because they're dangerous, they're unreadable, or even if they're not super dangerous, there's still something very dark about them that maybe you can't fully explain, but you're like, I don't want to be around this person. I'm not comfortable around this person. It happens a lot. So to keep this video kind of the short end, to end it, I know, oh, who's calling me? My brother's calling me. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, to wrap this up, I know we went on a lot of things and, I'll put chapters and I think it was pretty well organized. So any more questions and comments, let me know below and we'll do more longer, more in-depth videos, but this was kind of a short one just to kind of help you guys on a beginner, kind of intermediate level. But I mean, this happens. People are genuinely like that. Some people are very dark and very evil and you'll meet them. And it's not a pleasant experience. Sometimes it's literally, you can be somewhere, maybe you're going to the store, or maybe it's the new kid in school or something, and there's just that instant kind of irritation that makes you feel uncomfortable or them or something about them. I'm not saying don't be an ass, but you will know what I mean when you see it, when you feel it. But other than that, think about it a little bit. Think about what we talked about in the beginning, in the middle, what it is, what happens, why does it happen, how to deal with it, and really how to ignore it for now. And then in the second video, we'll do like a longer form kind of explaining it better. But this was kind of very beginner level stuff, beginner and intermediate in the middle. Okay, I'll see you guys on the next one. I hope you really like this. So it feels so good to do this and just got to be consistent. So, all right, peace.